You know that feeling, right? When an emotion is so intense it feels physical, like a real pang of loneliness, or that tight knot of fear that just sits in your stomach. Well, today, we're going to get into the wild and honestly, kind of unnerving science of how our feelings can have a very, very real impact on us, right down to our actual cells. Okay, just let that sink in for a second. This is really the heart of what we're talking about today. It's a pretty intense idea, isn't it? The thought that an emotion, something we think of as being all in our head, could actually be waging a physical war on our own biology. So how on earth is that even possible? So we're going to follow the breadcrumbs, you know? We're going to trace the path from a simple feeling all the way to a physical fact. And listen, this isn't some metaphor. We are talking about straight up biochemistry. We're going to look at the exact process that allows things like chronic fear and loneliness to start doing tangible physical harm to your body. This is the big question, right? It sounds almost made up. How can a feeling physically hurt you? But the answer? Well, it's deep inside of us, at a level we probably never even think about. To find it, we need to zoom in, like way, way in. All right, so let's shift gears. We're going from the big, messy world of human emotions down to the microscopic stage where this whole drama really plays out. It's time to meet the tiny, absolutely essential parts of you that get caught right in the crossfire of all this chronic stress. So say hello to the mitochondria. I want you to think of these as the absolute engines of your life. Seriously, almost every single cell in your body is just packed with these things, and they are working 24/7 to create the energy you need to, well, to do everything. To live, to breathe, to think. They're everything. So what happens when these little powerhouses run into trouble? And here's where it gets really clear. Look at this comparison. On one side, you've got healthy mitochondria. They're like these super clean, super efficient power plants just pumping out clean energy. But on the other side, whoa, when they become dysfunctional, it's like they turn into these broken down, rusty factories just spewing out toxic exhaust. And that exhaust, it starts damaging the cell all around it, which leads to this process that our source material calls a kind of physical rot. So, this is the crucial question. How does this happen? What's the weapon that actually turns our own cellular power plants against us? Well, the answer is a kind of chain reaction. And what's amazing is that it all starts with a feeling. And this lays it out perfectly. It's like a series of dominoes. It starts with that persistent emotional state, right? Chronic fear or deep loneliness. That basically keeps your body's alarm system permanently switched on, which means you get this nonstop flood of stress hormones. That hormonal flood then creates something called oxidative stress. You can literally think of it as biological rust. And it's that rust that ultimately starts to damage our mitochondria. And here we are, at the devastating conclusion of that chain reaction. This isn't just a little bit of wear and tear we're talking about. This whole cascade of events leads to widespread mitochondrial dysfunction. And to put it in the same kind of chilling terms as the source material, it's a process that's like the body physically rotting from the inside out. I know, that is a really grim picture. It's pretty terrifying. But the story doesn't have to end there. And this brings us to what is maybe the most important question of all. Is this damage permanent? Is it a one-way street? Or is there a way to actually fight back? Okay, get this. It turns out your body has its own built-in antidote. There's a biological hero in this story. It's called the vagus nerve, and it might just hold the key to stopping this cellular decay in its tracks.
The key idea here is something called vagus nerve tone. The easiest way to think about it is like muscle tone. You know, if you have good muscle tone, your muscles are strong and responsive. Well, if you have high vagus nerve tone, your nervous system is really, really good at hitting the brakes after something stressful happens, calming your whole body down quickly and effectively. So how does this actually protect us? A well-toned vagus nerve is like having a biological shield. It directly counters that whole domino effect we just talked about. It slams the brakes on that stress response, it dials down the harmful inflammation caused by that biological rust, and get this, it directly protects our mitochondria, helping to bring everything back into balance. It's literally our body's own personal defense system. So what this all boils down to is this incredibly deep connection between what we feel and what our cells are actually doing. Our emotional state, it's not just some fleeting experience, you know? It's actively giving our biology instructions. It's a blueprint. But just as fear can kick off that damaging chain reaction, we have the power to step in. We have these incredible built-in systems like the vagus nerve. Which leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. If your emotions are the blueprint for your cells, what are you building today?